What's good with the YouTube? Big Flock with the convict's perspective, man. I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of energy and a breaking exclusive, man. I just got this information right now. I just got off the blab. Was set to maybe think what I was gonna do maybe for a video, but I got to read this, guys, because it's gonna be much easier because this information is all just fresh. An inmate serving a life sentence. This is Fox 26 News. An inmate serving a sentence died after being attacked at California State Prison, Sacramento, and authorities are investigating the death as a homicide. Two fellow inmates assaulted Felipe Rodriguez in the prison yard Tuesday afternoon, according to a statement by the Department of Corrections. An ambulance was called, but the 36-year-old was pronounced dead. Correctional officers recovered two inmate-made weapons. Officials said investigators have named two suspects: Celso Orozco, who's 41, and 36-year-old Mike Calderon. Orozco is serving a 23-year sentence on robbery and weapons charges. Calderon has a life without parole sentence after being convicted of first-degree murder. The Sacramento County coroner will determine Rodriguez's official cause of death. He received multiple life without parole sentences in separate cases involving murder, kidnapping, and extortion. California State Prison Sacramento is a highly secured. Okay, let me see if there's any additional information. So right now, it doesn't give us any indication as far as who was behind this, man. Those names. Mike Calderon sounds very familiar, though. New Folsom murder. Let me see what it says, guys. So this is all fresh, guys. Murder. Let me see. California investigating. Okay. Oh wow. This is kind of interesting. They may be. Oh wait. 1 hour ago, inmate killed at state prison in Sacramento has two suspected attacks. Let me see if there's any additional information. He was killed at 2:36 on Tuesday. Okay, Celso Orozco was out of Sonoma County, and Mike Calderon was out of Los Angeles. So you're gonna have to believe that this is possibly a Sureño Movida, unless there's an SNY yard there. I'm not too sure about that. You know what I mean? Let me see if there's any additional information. Guards called an ambulance to the prison, but Rodriguez later died of his wounds. Man, the Rodriguez, okay, was serving a sentence for a 2015, a 9-year term for carjacking in San Bernardino County. But he was sentenced in custody in 2018 to a life term for attempted first-degree murder. So this is kind of interesting, man. So, how often do we do fucking spills on here about talking about people just getting murdered? Almost like, man, at least 2 a month, it seems like, man. And I was starting to think that maybe the violence was going to tone it down a little bit, but it's just a continuous trend. And I don't know what the solution is. You know, they're trying to come up with different procedures, integration, moving people around. And, you know, I don't think any of that's going to work while you have prisons that are overpopulated. You know, that's the number one cause of all this, is the prisons are overpopulated. It causes more people to get put in situations where they could create issues and stuff, right? What the hell was that? And I think that's the first thing. You've got to cut the population down. You know what I'm saying? Don't overcrowd these prisons. Don't reach to the max. You know what I mean? Try to maintain them maybe at 70% of capacity, maybe even 60%. You're going to see a whole different type of climate, less hostilities, and people are going to be able to do their time more in peace. You know, the moment you start to overcrowd these prisons, man, and go above and beyond the capacity, man, you're going to be prone to have much more violence, much more mental health issues, much more, you know, understaffed situations. You know what I mean? Which is it's not only safe for the inmates, it's also safe for the correctional staff. You know, I think that California had a big problem in the 90s with some of the laws that they were implementing, that they became a warehouse for just stacking time upon individuals who maybe shouldn't even been in prison the first time. You know, when I thought of prison back in the days, I thought of the convicts, the fucking dudes that had the big old bro shots, and the dudes that just had that convict mentality when they got out. You know, they were only going to be out maybe 2 to 6 months if lucky. You know what I mean? The ones that were getting out, man, first thing they were doing, blast off, and they were fucking 3 days later, they were on a fucking run. Those were what I thought of Pinteros back in the days. Then all of a sudden, you just had these dudes that just did not even, they weren't on that caliber. You know what I mean? They didn't come from the same cloth. You know what I mean? And that not only causes frustration, man, but it just causes a lot more conflict, man. You know, and that's not to knock anybody going to prison for some of the sentences, man. They used to send you to prison for fucking, what was it? An ounce of dope sometimes, a 16th of dope. Remember that? There was guys doing like a second or third strike over a fucking gram of fucking coke or meth or black. Nowadays, they're letting you out. So, I mean, that was a big thing, too, with some of the laws that they enforced. They always try to create a narrative. Oh, we need to stop crime. This is going to work. This is going to work. In all these years, there's nothing that's been determined to work except for when there's job security and the economy's looking good. You're going to see less crime every time. So if you work on the economy and you focus on that, whether it's the state economy or the world economy or the country economy, you're going to see better results. But when you don't work on the economy and you start to try to fix these little things that you want to fucking tinker with, right? Look what's happened the last few years, man. There's been more deaths. There's been more suicides. There's been all kinds of things that have occurred. The COVID situation didn't help either, man. We're still seeing the effects of how people got through this mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a hard time for a lot of people, man. Anyways, New Folsom, man, they're another prison, man, that I don't trust too much, man, because there's been a lot of correctional officers who have unsuspectedly died. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of corruption over there, and just bad things happen there. You know what I'm saying? New Folsom, I'm telling you right now, there's something strange going on over there, man. I think they've had 2 correctional officers that were ready to blow the whistle that were fucking found dead. One of them was on pills, and I forgot the situation about the other guy. You know what I mean? Could it be a coincidence? Probably. But does it raise a little skepticism? Of course, man. Sometimes they don't give you the answers that you need because they try to sweep that shit under the rug. And all that does is bring public questioning and stuff, man. But New Folsom, man, I mean, this has been, I've never seen so many murders in the Department of Corrections in a long time, man. I thought that after 2010 and all that stuff that things were going to change, they were going to be more secured, but, apparently not. And then you have Georgia, another state that's understaffed, same thing, man. They're having a lot of murders over there. That prison system is no joke, man. The Georgia prison system is no joke. And it's a melting pot right now because you have disciples, Crips, Bloods, folk, vice lords, fucking land kings, sureños, and even norteños there, man. And I'm pretty sure there may be some other cars that are trying to move over there because Georgia's basically been the new hub for illicit activities that was never really established like it maybe people think it should have been. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of people who are vying for control of that area. Therefore, they're going to prison, and therefore people are dying. But from what I've been told, man, in the Georgia system is, it's not like the California system. The Georgia system, I heard, the blacks run it. The blacks run these prisons. You know what I mean? Anyways, man, I don't know what to say anymore whenever I get this information about a new case where someone gets killed in a new prison, man. I mean, it's always Folsom, Salinas Valley, High Desert, or Pelican Bay. It's always those 4 prisons. You guys notice that? Every once in a while you'll get a Pleasant Valley or Mill Creek or Solano, but it's those 4 prisons over and over again. Those are high-level security prisons, and the way, administration is operating things, man, it's not about job security. No, it's about job security. It's not about safety. It's about them following the rules of what they've been told to do. I mean, they're doing the same thing right now too, man, that they did with the Corcoran Gladiator years, right? Which is when they were staging fucking fights and they were actually killing people. The way they were able to beat that trial in the federal court was all they were doing as officers was upholding the rules and regulations that were passed. Therefore, they couldn't be tried for wrong. Even though some of these guys knew it was wrong, by law, they had to follow procedure. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen right now again. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys, man, watch it. And for those who are really advocates for fucking prison reform, man, get on that horn, call some people up, man. Tell them about what they're really trying to do. All this division, dissension, all that, not trying to talk to the families, committees, and so forth about the visiting. All that shit they're doing, man, you know what I'm saying? They need to be held accountable. And they always use some type of excuse, COVID procedures or this and that, man. People got to stand for it, man. Look what the end of all hostilities brought. It brought change. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's not these guys' fault that they're being put in a situation to where it's overpopulated. They're not being given water at some locations, shower restrictions, all kinds of bullshit's going on, man. The Department of Corrections needs to wake up, man, and see what's really going on. Anyways, this is a quick spill, man. I don't really know too much about this case, but yes, there was an individual in New Folsom who got killed. That said, I'm gone.